Hey Barcode Metro Detroit, my name is Lindsay. I'm an instructor here at our Rochester Hills location. Today we are talking all things push-ups. Whether you love them, you love to hate them, there's no denying that these exercises pack a punch. Oftentimes you'll see a push-up in our upper body series. And yes, they target the upper body, but when done effectively and correctly, this is a compound exercise that targets way more areas than just your upper body. Today we're going to talk about what areas a push-up actually targets, how to set it up, how to properly execute it, things to look for in areas of opportunity, as well as a few variations to a push-up. So, where does a push-up actually target? That's going to be in your pecs, your shoulders, your bicep, as well as your tricep. However, if you are doing this correctly, you're also going to target that rectus abdominis, which is your 8-pack, your transverse abdominals, which is the deepest part of our core, as well as that posterior chain and those glutes and even your lower body. In order to set this up properly, you'll oftentimes hear your instructor say, bring your hands just outside of our shoulders. What we want is this. What we get is that. Having your arms this far out is going to put a lot of strain on your shoulders, and you're not going to really be able to target the proper muscles because that execution is just not going to fully be where we need it to be. So, how to set this up, I want you to think about making a big capital L. Your index and thumb are going to be in line with your shoulders, and those outer 3 fingers are going to be just outside of our shoulders. They should be parallel with your shoulders and rolling those shoulders back and away. Once you get into that high plank position and your hands are positioned, I want you to think about where that gaze is. It's gonna just be a few inches in front of that fingertip. That's gonna keep your neck nice and neutral, rolling your shoulders back and away. Then we're going to engage that core, zipping up through that rib cage and threading that needle through that belly button, squeezing through those glutes as well as those inner and outer thighs, lifting your quads up off of your kneecaps and pressing all of that energy out through your heels. That is how you set up, and that's how you start with that push-up up on your toes. When you're ready to go, you take that big inhale and you drive those elbows to the back corners of the room, holding that chest as low as possible for that split second, and then exhale, press it all the way up. The only thing moving in your push-up should be your elbows. Your elbows should make about a 45-degree angle. The closer your elbows are, the more you're going to get into those triceps. Putting those elbows nice and wide, again, we don't love it. It's going to put a lot of strain on your shoulders. So keep it nice and angled, 45 degrees or about halfway. Once you hit it up at the top, hit that reset every single time. So we really find that quality. Knowing that, there's a few areas to look for. Oftentimes we'll see that neck start to bob for apples, or maybe it's more of a chicken, or we'll see that belly drop and you kind of get a canyon shape because you'll have that back nice and dip low where your hips are below the rest of your body, or oftentimes we'll see that booty up in the air and we're really working on just those arms. Again, hold yourselves accountable. Every single rep is a brand new opportunity to have that perfect push-up. So let's actually do a push-up. So you're gonna zip up through your legs, take a big inhale, reach your arms up, exhale, swan dive over and walk your hands up. Coming into that high plank position, zipping up through those legs, your hands are just outside of our shoulders. That gaze is in front of your fingertips and you roll those shoulders back and away. That booty is in line with your entire body and that energy is pressed out through our heels. Taking a big inhale, that's when you drive your elbows to the back corners of the room. Holding it there and then exhaling, pressing it all the way up. Taking those time, taking your breath, knowing that you don't have to blast them out. You can take your time and hold yourselves accountable. Holding your core in is what's going to make this as easy as possible. The tighter your body is, the more easy it's going to be to move that body. Knowing that, maybe you're not ready to take it up on your toes. Maybe you're not feeling it. Maybe we're coming back from an injury, or maybe you're sore from another workout. You got options. So that second variation to a push-up is going to be on your knees. The setup is the exact same on the upper half of your body and even in your glutes. But when you come down, hands just outside of our shoulders, you're going to rock up onto the fleshy part of our knees, creating a nice plank position and curling your heels as close to that seat as possible. I want you to think about squeezing your seat and engaging those hamstrings. So you're going to even get a little bit of lower body work, just like we normally would up on our toes. The upper body is the same. That gaze is just in front with a neutral neck alignment. You take a big inhale, drive it down, and exhale, lift it all the way up. Knowing that we want to keep that body perfectly straight, so that core's got to be engaged. Taking it down and up. Oftentimes we'll see this, and that's not what we want. So make sure you're nice and solid, making a clean line from the crown of your head all the way to that seat. So that's your second variation. Your third and final variation is going to be taking it up at the bar. It's going to be a little bit less impact. So if you're coming off of an injury, pre or postnatal, this is the option for you to really hone in on that core, and you're still going to target that upper body. So how do we set it up? Hands, you guessed it, just outside of our shoulders. You're going to come up onto the balls of our feet, taking that high plank position, rolling those shoulders back and away. We inhale, take it down, exhale, press it all the way up. So that chest with the bar, you're really gonna get it to touch. You're gonna get as low as possible and really focus on that breath and that contraction as you extend all the way at the top. So those are your three variations, taking it on your toes, on your knees, or at the bar. Remember for that setup, hands just outside of our shoulders, neck is neutral, that gaze is just in front of those fingertips. Shoulders rolled back and away, that core is pulled in, that seat and those inner thighs are glued together and nice and contracted. Taking an inhale as you go down and exhale as you press it all the way up. That's going to get you into every single area that we talked about, which is your pecs, your shoulders, your buys, your tries, your core, your posterior chain, as well as that seat and lower body. No matter where you take your push-ups at, it's always important to hold yourselves accountable, to use these foundational rules to really execute it and get the most bang out of your buck. Again, it's your exercise, your 50 minutes. You do what feels right for you. You got the options, 3 total. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know I love to chat. Feel free to leave a comment. We hope to see you soon at the bar, whether it's in studio or virtual. Goodbye.